Hey guys, it's Lindsay from KY Homesteaders, and we are doing our first yard tour of the year. We're going to start at our peach tree. It does have a few peaches on it. However, we are expected to get frost in the next 2 to 3 nights, so I am not sure how many peaches we'll actually get. But we are going to go ahead and look around the house because that is going to be the main focus today. We have been working super hard on pulling weeds and trying to keep them back. We mulched in the fall, so we are skipping mulch to the spring and summer. So we have lots of lilies and boxwoods. I was gifted a coralberry for Christmas, so we got that in the ground, which you will see Friday, our big cleanup and fertilize of all of our landscape. All of our trees, or I should say evergreens, are doing really good. Hopefully they'll get a little bit bigger. It's still a smaller one. Probably be about this tall once it's mature. But it is very exciting to see everything starting to bloom and really take shape. This year, my goal is to add a lot more annuals throughout our beds. I still want a few more perennials just to kind of finish up the space through here. But again, I'm going to add a lot more annuals just so there's a little bit more color and interest. So majority of the plants that I have gotten, I have purchased either on clearance or I've only bought a couple of them full price. Other people had starts of plants, and that is how I've gotten a lot of them. So all these brown-eyed Susans, I was gifted one of those from my mom, and they have spread so much. I was actually able to divide some and give some away. All of the iris, a lot of the lilies. But for the most part, majority of these plants were on clearance. Whew, super windy today, which is kind of crazy because it was not windy this morning. So through here is kind of what I want to add another perennial to. I'm thinking some sort of hydrangea, maybe on either side, kind of fill this space in a little bit more just because I want taller things, a little bit more vertical interest, structure, as some people call it. And you can also see we have our hooks, we have our pots out, and we are getting ready for planting all of our annuals. Our annual plant shopping day is going to be very, very soon, which we are super excited about. So through here, not too much coming up. And as you'll see in our video on Friday, we also pulled out a lot of plants that just weren't necessarily working for this space. We did try to give away and gift as many as we can. But I agree with Laura from Garden Answer when she says, if you don't like something, move it, give it away, try something else. And that is definitely what we're trying to do, just because we want a prettier, better landscape that suits what we want. So through the side here is another area that I really want to focus on this year. While we do have some stuff, it's just kind of bare compared to other sides. And here is a peony that we actually dug up out of our yard and we transplanted it in here. And this is the first time it has ever bloomed. So that was about 3-4 years ago when we found it and dug it up. So we need to get some sort of little trellis system for it. So more evergreens, another little piece of peony here. We had some bulbs that we planted. They did not do very well, so that is why we did not start any of the garden tours early. They hardly bloomed. They really didn't have any size on them. But I want to add something here, something bigger. At some point, we will be having a fence through here, so we have to keep that in mind as well. So really, I just need something larger for this section right here that might kind of hide that little contraption there. So here is our azalea. This is the second time it has ever bloomed. It was blooming when we first purchased it, and then it has not bloomed since until this year, which I'm very excited about. Obviously, we still have quite a bit of cleanup to do in our fairy garden and some other stuff, but we've cleaned up through here. It's definitely looking a lot better. Hopefully soon we'll start seeing a lot more color and kind of know where more plants are. Here is our hellebores. I was hoping these would spread a little bit more, but they've definitely put on more growth. Still looking good. And again, it's been very windy today. I might need to try to stake this down some more. Another peony, and we actually got this one on clearance at Lowe's. It was 75% off. Most of the time, all these clearance plants just need a little bit of water, and just popping them in the ground kind of fixes almost all the issues. And here is our clematis. It is definitely outgrown this, so next year we're going to have to find something bigger for it to climb. Not sure what we'll have, but it needs to be a lot larger. My husband now builds trellises, however, we would need a little bit more on it just so it would be able to wrap and climb, but it does a pretty good job. And of course, I can always get something else climbing and add it somewhere else in the landscape. Our lavender, not doing a whole lot, but lavender always looks very, very dead until it's actually in season. So over here we have our strawberries. They are looking good. However, it has been cold. There's lots of blooms on them. I'm not going to uncover them all the way because it was a pain in the butt to get this thing on there. So for at least 3 more nights, we're going to have this on there just to keep everything safe. And there is a birdhouse my husband built, and hopefully we'll be getting some birds in there. So we've done quite a bit of work throughout behind the barn and behind the fences here. So we have currently some larkspur. We're definitely going to have some sunflowers. We have a little bit more space. We need to essentially wait for some more things to come up before we really know what's going on, but it does make us very happy to see some green coming up. So through here is definitely starting to look really good. We went ahead and got some of our ferns from Lowe's on sale. We're not going to pop them in yet just because they still have to go in at night, but I just love all the green through here, the contrast with the black and the tan or the brown. It looks really good. And our hydrangeas are looking good. Next year, I'm not going to cut them at all, and I'm going to see if that causes them to grow a little bit more. So last year, we almost had blooms on them. They didn't quite bloom, but fingers crossed for this year. So this one is not bloomed yet. It doesn't get quite as much sun, so it actually blooms later, and then there's a second crop on them. Well, it's a later crop on them, which actually works out really well because our primary bush over here is getting ready to be loaded down with blooms. And here is our grapes. I thought the grapes were going to be done for after the last frost, but we are loaded down. There are so many on here. I'm honestly not sure what we're gonna do with all of them. So, and this thing just keeps on growing. It's pushing tons of growth, which is exactly what we want it to do. And so other little grape that we got on clearance at Lowe's, it is starting to push some growth. It had a couple little buds on it, but obviously we're not going to get much of anything off of this one this year. But I am very excited for blackberries. So, and we keep having to trim up off the top a little bit because we can't reach up there, obviously. But this is exactly what I wanted it to do. I wanted it to grow up. I want it to kind of grow over. It's more shaded. It just makes it a pretty little area. And here is our last section. So we have roses here. They were looking great. They're starting to turn yellow. I'm honestly not sure why. I've been trying to research and kind of see. They might need iron. I'm not sure. So let us know down in the comments if you know anything about roses and what it might need. There are no pests that we have seen or found on anything. So our blueberries, while small, they look great. So they're very pretty. I love the color of them. And our raspberries. So I had them originally over on that side, but I have transplanted them and they are very happy here. So, and these will spread and get bigger, and there'll be more of them. I want to say last year they got up to about this high, so it also shades a little bit through here because there's a lot of sun. It's kind of hard to see, but we still have our bunny resident who has been hanging out, living the life of luxury, digging her holes and enjoying life. But I am going to go ahead and end the video here. Thank you so much for checking out our early yard tour. So in the next one, there will be a lot more changes and a lot more stuff, and hopefully a lot more color. Thank you very much, and I'll catch you on the next one.